What's up, Bama Nation? Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. In my own words, coming to you on a Monday from the home location. We will be getting things back going in the studio pretty soon here, so definitely want you to bear with us on that. We will be getting back to taking calls from the studio at some point. We're also going to hopefully be possibly transitioning to taking phone calls from the home location. So definitely with us or bear with us on all of those endeavors, whether it be in getting things straightened up in the studio or taking calls from the home location right here. But the thought for the night is Alabama's got to be better at situational football moving forward. In the press conference today, when you look at Kalen DeBoer, head coach, offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan, defensive coordinator Kane Womack, it seems to me that they are understanding why fans, the Bama fans, are bothered, concerned, worried about why this team isn't performing up to the standard it needs to. It's starting to understand the coaches are, when you look at people like me in the local media and why we have our, and even people in the national space have their concerns. So the coaching staff is starting to get that. We heard from Kane Womack earlier today talking about the defense on third down and the lack of urgency and the lack of consistency and the lack of winning on third downs, the lack of winning in red zone defense, the lack of winning in run defense and pass defense. We've heard that from Kane Womack. We've heard from Kalen DeBoer, the fact that the running game, the backs, they need to get the ball more. We want to get that number up. I mean, so we've heard this from DeBoer and from Kane Womack. So the question is, how does Alabama get better in situational football? Because that's what everybody is talking about right now. Alabama lacking the situational awareness. Alabama lacking the urgency in terms of situational football. So how does Alabama get better with that? Because I feel like once the Crimson Tide is able to master that, a lot of other things will be cleaned up. Once Alabama's able to master that, a lot of things will get better. And so, what is situational football? Well, let me explain that to you. Situational football is mastering the little things within moments in games, right? So, third down defense is situational football. Third down offense is situational football. Excellence in red zone defense and red zone offense is situational football. Time of possession is situational football. So all of those things are situational football, and all of those things are where Alabama is lacking right now. Winning the turnover battle is situational football. As far as Jalen Milroe at quarterback is concerned, knowing when to throw the football away when something is not there and not take a bad sack, or pulling the ball down, taking off and running with the football to avoid a bad sack, that is also situational football. So that is where we are right now. When you look at the Crimson Tide, it's how do you manage situation by situation in games to put yourself in a position to where you can be successful. Starting this thing off here with third down defense for Alabama, when it's third and short, when it's third and mid, or even when it's third and long, having success on first and second down prepares you for better football on third down. First and second down for Alabama, that's putting the opposition behind the down and distance, behind the sticks. Alabama creating a negative play on first down, whether that's a tackle for loss, whether that's a sack, creating a negative play. Second down, creating a negative play, whether it's a tackle for loss, whether it's a sack, whether it's a batted ball, whether it's an incomplete pass, having a negative play, forcing a negative play. So that way, when you're on third down, now with it being third and long, you can come after the quarterback and find plays that hit home in that situation. Like that's what Kane Womack has to do. Create negative plays consistently on first and second down. That way, on third down, you can have that pressure look that you know this is going to hit home and rep that constantly in practice to where players can execute that and see this is the type of play on third down that's going to constantly hit home. Why? Because on first and second down, we have repped the plays to put the opposition in unfavorable situations. That's what Alabama has to do. Also on defense, situationally, you got to keep yourself out of bad penalties, right? You got to keep yourself out of bad penalties defensively. This is no being offsides. This is no, tapping the quarterback's helmet. And because right now, and I understand, some of the penalties against South Carolina were uncalled for, right? They weren't called for. The one where the guy, I think it was Q Rob, trying to pressure the quarterback, doesn't even hit the guy, just taps him on the helmet, and he gets called for pass interference, which a weak call in my opinion. Very weak call in my opinion. But at the same time, hey, being able to keep yourself out of those third down penalties is situational football. That's the defensive side. The offensive side in situational football is winning that time of possession. When you are seeing the running backs, Justice and Jam, get big plays in the run game, you don't remove the football from them. I understand you want to run Jalen Milroe on these zones, on these design plays because of how electric he is and how electric he's been able to be and creating more of an obstacle for the opposing team to defend. But when you're seeing Jam get 4 and 5 yards a pop, when you are seeing Justice getting 4 and 5 yards a pop, you do not pull the ball out of their hands. You don't do that. You don't pull the ball out of their hands because it stops the flow. It stops the momentum. It negates the success of the offense. It negates the success of the offense. And you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be doing that. You got to be able to have an offensive balance. You got to be able to have an offensive flow. Like if you have an offense let's force feed the ball to Ryan Williams on a bomb every single time, I'm sorry, you're not going to get anything done. You're not. I mean, yes, you'll get a big play here or there, but that's not a balanced offense. That's not a balanced attack. That's just a big play every now and again. And a defense is going to clamp down on that and take that away, right? So you have to have some type of situational balance offensively and defensively. You got to have some type of situational awareness offensively and defensively. That's where Alabama is right now. That's the biggest red flag that this team has to clean up if it wants to establish some type of an identity for itself, if it wants to establish some type of toughness for itself, if it wants to establish some type of consistency for itself, most importantly, if it wants to establish some type of making the college football playoff, and not even just that, competing for a Southeastern Conference championship, right? Everything starts with situational football, making in-game adjustments, making half by half, quarter by quarter, moment by moment adjustments, and being great at each situation. That's what made the previous coaching staff under Nick Saban great, was more times than not, Saban knew how to coach situational football. He knew how to put this team moment by moment, frame by frame, picture by picture in the right situation. He knew that. So I think that's the biggest thing moving forward for Alabama, situational football. Can Kalen DeBoer, Nick Sheridan, Kane Womack grasp that picture? Because they're telling us we're lacking in this area. We haven't been consistent in this area. We haven't been great in this area. Great. You're admitting to it, right? That's part of the battle. Great. They're admitting to it. Now, how do you fix it? How do you fix it, right? How do you fix it? It's great that you're admitting to it. It's great that you're naming what you're doing wrong. Kalen DeBoer, Kane Womack, Nick Sheridan. But now, how does it get fixed? That's the thing. Because national media is naming what you're doing wrong. Local media like myself is naming what you're doing wrong. The average Alabama fan out there is naming what you're doing wrong. But now it's how do you fix it? You're the coaches. You're the ones getting paid millions of dollars. How do you, as the coach, and how do you, as the player, as the athlete, how do you come together cohesively and fix this to where Alabama's a team that's dynamic? Alabama has a team that's got situational awareness. Most importantly, Alabama has a team that can compete for a conference championship and a national championship. I would be remiss as to not congratulate, though, the Crimson Tide. It did get a commitment today. JUCO Cavante Henry. So Cavante Henry did commit JUCO to the Crimson Tide. It's big for Alabama. It's huge for the program. Big ups there in getting the commitment from one Cavante Henry. But I think the biggest area for Alabama right now, in order to clean up what needs to take place, is situational awareness, being better in situational football, offensively and defensively. If Alabama is better in that area, then I think the Tide can make this turnaround. If it does not get better in this area, then this program is in for a world of hurt, frustration, and need of blood pressure medication, right? Because if Alabama doesn't get this fixed, situational football, it's going to be in a dogfight in every game this season. Every game is going to be a heart attack game, basically. Every game is going to be a blood pressure up, blood pressure down, blood pressure right back up, that type of football game. Because it's not going to get easy from here, right? It took a miracle from two freshmen to beat Georgia. You get worked by Vanderbilt. You did not have a great game against South Carolina. That was awful. Even after you controlled the first part of the game, Bama started making inexplicable mistakes to keep South Carolina in the game. And if not for a game-sealing interception from Damani Jackson at the end, you could have lost that game. And so now you got to go up there to Neyland Stadium and play Nico Iamaleava and Josh Heupel. That's not a gimme. Like 2 years ago, you go up there with Bryce Young, but you get beat by Hendon Hooker. You go right back up there. That is not an easy football game. That could literally come down to the wire. That could be a dogfight. You still got to go down to Baton Rouge, Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, on the road. And Kalen DeBoer has never coached in Death Valley. Nick Sheridan has never coached in Death Valley. Kane Womack has never coached in Death Valley. You got to go there. You got to go all the way up to Norman, Oklahoma to face the Sooners. That's not going to be a gimme. You got to play Missouri at home. You got to play Auburn at home. Those are not gimmies. So Bama's got to get better in situational football, and they got to get better fast. They got to get better quickly in this area. If not, you in for some problems, for some serious problems. Got to get better here. Situational football. Roll Tide and Rise Up starts us off with the Roll Tide family. Appreciate Roll Tide and Rise Up helping us out on the show. Lorenzo Anderson, Roll Tide and Rise Up. Shouting out Roll Tide and Rise Up right there. Dylan Wiggum writing in, we should put Campbell at an edge rusher along with Quay, put Justin and Deontay at inside. That's an interesting concept, Dylan. That should be brought up to Kane Womack. Interesting concept. Have Jihad Campbell, because he feels more like an edge guy than an inside guy at times. So put Campbell at edge with Quay and Q-Rob, and have Justin and Deontay on the inside. That's an interesting concept there. I don't appreciate that. We got Mike Coleman shouting out Roll Tide, Rise Up, Lorenzo, Dylan, and myself. Getting us a Roll Tide. Appreciate that. My guy, Mike Coleman. Morty M writes in, good evening, Stephen. Good evening to you, Morty. Jay Clark writes in, penalties on third down. That goes back to Jay, situational football. Alabama can't have that. You cannot have penalties, especially when you make a stop on third down, he gets called, you give the other team life, or you get a first down offensively, a penalty gets called, and you have to replay the down. It just ruins momentum. You cannot have third down penalties. Mike Coleman, Bama fans, don't forget to hit the like button and tap the subscribe button. Absolutely. Y'all heard Mike. Hit the like button, tap that subscribe button as well. We appreciate you guys. Like I mentioned before, we are working on getting back in the studio at some point. We may also transition to taking calls from the home location. So bear with us here at TDA. We're in kind of a bit of a transition thing here, but we're trying to be back in the studio pretty soon here. But if not, and if we have to go to taking calls from the home location, we'll be ready, because we definitely want to get back to taking your phone calls and having you guys interacting more here with the show. You guys have been asking about that, so continue to bear with us here as we make this transition decision. We got Morty M. We are so soft on defense, and we shouldn't, because we have too much talent. And Morty, that's the thing. The game against Vandy doesn't even have the talent to be on the same field with Alabama. But Vandy is that desire. It's that desire. It's that situational football. It's schemes. It's adjustments. Vandy played it better. Same thing with South Carolina. South Carolina's got some dudes, yes, but as far as the overall talent, Bama with way more. But once again, South Carolina, hungry. South Carolina, scheme. South Carolina, strategy. South Carolina wanted this game more. It was just a big play late by Alabama's Damani Jackson to seal that 27-25 narrow victory for the Tide. Jackson Johnson writes in, what's up, Crimson Nation? What's up with you, Jackson? Happy to have you in here on the show. Let's see here. Dylan Wiggum writes in to Morty, well, when your coaches are soft, players follow suit. And that's something that a lot of the national media, Dylan, has been talking about with Kalen DeBoer, player-friendly, players coach, catering to the players, making it more fun for the players. Sometimes players can walk all over you. This is what national media has been talking about. I mean, Saban had it very strict. Saban had it very serious-like. And that's why they couldn't walk on over Saban. But give me just a moment, guys. We're going to take a word here from our sponsor, from our partners here at Alumni Hall. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. All right, folks, we're back to the action from the break here. Hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Had to get the camera worked out there, but we're back. We're back. We're cool. Back into the comment section right here. And it goes to Christian Hughes. Roll Tide, Stephen M. Skyline crew member checking in. You know we got it. No Skyline in the background. You know what I'm saying? We got the Skyline going here. Kenny Heathcock. Stephen just got here. Couldn't he change to a 4-3 really easy or no? He could change to a 4-3. I mean, Kane Womack could change to a 4-3. He could even change to maybe even a 5-3-3. Maybe a 5-3. I mean, he could change to a 4-3. I don't know why he doesn't look to do that, but he could change to a 5-3. Morty M writes in, fire Womack, fire Womack, fire Womack. That's all I have to say, Stephen. I mean, hey, people are looking at Kane like this defense is not what it's supposed to be. It's not what it's supposed to be. There are a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. And Nick Saban, before the season started at SEC Media Days in Dallas, Texas, mentioned, hey, the defense, more importantly, the secondary, you know, he saw it as a problem. He saw it as an issue. He saw it as a weakness there. And Saban proved to be absolutely right by his assessment. Saban proved to be absolutely true by his assessment. But it's not just the secondary. You got the defensive front not getting a consistent push. You've got the call not coming in fast enough from Kane Womack to the team across the board. So once again, it's situational football that needs to be improved. Plow Jogger here. What's up, Plow? I don't recognize this defense, Plow. A lot of fans don't. A lot of fans don't, and that's the reason why improvements need to be made. Bob Rutherford with the RTR and a heart there. Appreciate you, Bob, helping us out. We got here Dylan Wiggum writes back in. The 4-2-5 isn't the problem. It's Womack not making the right calls and adjustments. There you go. Kane Womack not making the right calls, not making the right adjustments, not putting the guys in the best situation, situational football, not putting the guys in the best position to go out there, execute, and succeed out there. Coaching's got to put you in the best situation. Jeremy Matthews writes in, man, the South Carolina edge rushers remind me of Jadeveon Clowney. The guys, Kyle Kennard and Dylan Stewart, are studs. Both of those two came after Milroe throughout the game. Kyle Kennard had, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, gave Caden Proctor work on the outside, him and Pritchett. Proctor talked about it. South Carolina's edge rushers, the best group that Alabama has faced to this point all season. They can bend, they explode, they come around the edge, they got an array of pass rush moves. They hit home on the quarterback. South Carolina does. And that's what happened in the game. Jalen Milroe, seeing that kind of pressure, you get rid of the football faster. You don't just hold it. You throw it away, or you already have a pre-made up decision. I'm taking this ball and I'm running. Why? Because South Carolina is coming off that edge fast with pressure, and I can't just sit there like a knot on the log with the ball in my hand, not having a decision made up. Got to have a decision made up. Joseph Higginbottom writes in, roll, Tide, roll, Bama family. Appreciate Joseph Higginbottom helping us out on the show. Chief 1, offensive side. We have to stop running 10 plays a game and use our tight ends more. Yes. Offensive side, that there's got to be some balance, some mix-up, but some balance. Giving the ball to Justice Haynes, giving the ball to Jam Miller. You got to have some balance here with your offense. It's the reason why the defense tires out sometimes. That's the reason why Bama looks discombobulated. Bama looks out of sorts. Bama has no true identity on either side of the ball. There is no real true identity. And that has to be figured out. Why? Because Tennessee, they've got an identity. LSU, they've got an identity. Missouri, they've got an identity. Oklahoma, they've got an identity. All of these teams know exactly who they are and what they are. Even down to Auburn. And I know people love making fun of Auburn, but when Hugh Freeze plays against Alabama, he brings everything out the pot. Even though Auburn may not have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of, when they take on Alabama, Auburn look like a whole different team, right? Because they can lose every single game on that schedule, but when the Iron Bowl comes up, Auburn ready to play. So, Alabama, you got to find some sort of an identity. Morty M writes in, we can forget about making it to the playoff, and if we do, we are going to get our butt kicked in the first round. Hey, if you cannot get down situational football, if you cannot make these improvements, Morty, I agree with you. If you cannot get down situational football, and if you cannot make these improvements, it is going to be tough on Alabama if it gets into the college football playoff, if it gets into there. Don Parker writes in, good evening, everyone, and roll tide. You done? Happy to have you in here. Morty back in. Please bring back the smash mouth defense we are used to seeing. Please, for the love of God. Look, I'll say this, Morty. I'll say this. This is why losing certain coaches that knew what they were doing hurts you as a program. When Alabama had Bo Davis, you knew how elite the defensive line was going to be. When Alabama had Kirby Smart as its DC or Jeremy Pruitt as its DC, you knew what you were getting defensively because you knew the type of mentality, the type of discipline, the type of focus. You knew what you were getting. With Kane Womack, it's you hope there are adjustments being made every week. You can only just hope. With Freddie Roach, good recruiter. I like the guy, but defensive line, Bama hasn't had a scary dude on that D line since Christian Barmore, more notably Quentin Williams, right? Freddie Roach has not produced a scary dude on that defensive line yet. This is 5th season. Think about that for me. It's his 5th season. So when you lose coaches that know what they're doing and you can't replace those guys, it's tough. Derek Spencer writes in, roll tide to you, Derek. He goes, you are absolutely right. When you talk about situational football and how Coach Saban did it versus where we are now, Patrick Bobo writes in, brother, it's no need talking about what they need to do. We see it all. We see all of that. It's about talking. It's a lot of talking at practice, but the players are not listening. So it seems that goes back to, Patrick, holding everybody accountable, holding players accountable, holding coaches accountable, holding players, holding coaches accountable. Right? And it starts with, if you are not going to go out there, do your job, exceed, excel, dominate, and give you as the fan a program, a team, a product that you can get behind and you can be proud of, then why even play the game? Why even have the sport? If you're not going to go out there and give it your full on 100%, dominating out there, playing with discipline out there, playing with excellence out there, then why even play the game at all? Right? That's just my thing. Plow Jogger writes in, why can't we recruit dominant D tackles anymore? Plow, Bama's missed on a lot of guys in the recruiting trail. This is where you look at why couldn't Alabama land Peter Woods? He was in state, and you let him leave the state. Now you look at, there have been quite a few guys that Alabama has missed on in recruiting on that defensive line, and we're talking about transformational talents, transformational dudes that Bama has missed on the defensive line. Justice Terry is one of those guys that Bama, you cannot afford to miss. You can't afford to miss on Terry. And he's down to Georgia and Alabama. Those were his two schools. But Bama has missed on a lot of defensive tackles, defensive linemen on the recruiting trail. And it's come back to really hurt the program. Jeremy Matthews writes in, if we don't get it together, Tennessee is going to dog walk us, and we will be the laughingstock of college football. This is the game, Jeremy, that so many fans are afraid of. This Tennessee game. Like I said, 2 years ago, Bama went up there to Neyland Stadium, and Hendon Hooker carved the Tide up. Hendon Hooker threw for 6 touchdowns, 5 of them to one guy, Jalen Hyatt. Now you got Nico Iamaleava, who's looking like, hey, if Hendon Hooker did that 2 years ago, I can do it now. Josh Heupel, as the head coach, is licking his chops going, man, if I toe up Pete Golding's defense 2 years ago, and that was a Pete Golding defense that had a Will Anderson, that had a Chris Braswell, that had a Brian Branch, that had a Kool-Aid McKinstry, that had some dudes on defense. If I could tear those guys up with Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt, imagine what I can do with Nico Iamaleava and these receivers here. Got a lot of Bama fans really concerned about this game. This is a week of practice that situational football for Alabama and improving and getting better has to be taken hard into consideration. It's got to. There's no choice. GT18 writes in, RTR, appreciate you, GT18 writing in there. Christian Hughes writes in, yeah, as an edge rusher, he looks great on paper. I hope it translates well on the field for Alabama. And that's going to the Cavante Henry kid. Hopefully he does translate well onto the field. Harold Threat writes in, what's up with Justice Haynes? He doesn't run with authority. He tips through the hole. Jam getting most of the reps. Well, I'll say this. Jam is getting reps, but Jam is not getting enough reps. Justice, he's not even really touching the ball at all. And I'm not seeing him tipping through the hole. He gets the ball. He hits the hole. It's miscommunication in terms of the offensive line at times where blocking is concerned. And then it's, Nick Sheridan not giving the backs the ball enough. You give them the ball 2 or 3 times. That's not getting them warmed up. You got to consistently hand them the ball and with discipline, trust your running game. That's what we're not doing. That's why we're not seeing the balance. We're allowing Jalen Milroe to get his runs in, but we're not allowing, Bama's not allowing Jam and Justice to get theirs in consistently. That's what's been the problem right now. Let's see here. We got Shadid Azes writes in, has anyone noticed across the board the decrease in talent displayed on the field per SEC teams? Not us. It starts with the preparation from these coaches and player accountability. Absolutely. It starts with the coaches and the player accountability. Tim Smith, Alabama defensive lineman, has said for a second straight time, We've got to be a player-led team. We've got to be a player-led team. The coaches can only give so much motivation. The coaches can only give so much fire. We got to have that fire within ourselves as players between those lines to play ball. You got to. Sometimes I wonder, what are the team leaders saying? What's Jalen Milroe saying? What's Malachi Moore saying? What's Deontay Lawson saying? What's Tyler Booker saying? Like, these are the team captains. Like, what are they saying? And not just what are they saying, is it taking root? Like, are the guys listening? Or should there be somebody else with the C on their chest that these guys will listen to? Because I remember, man, when Jalen Hurts spoke, you listen. Everybody in the room shut up. When Jonathan Allen spoke, you listened. Everybody else in the room shut up. When A'Shaun Robinson or Jaron Reed or Ryan Anderson or Reggie Ragland, when any of those guys used to talk, the whole room would shut up. You could hear a pin drop in there. Why? The leader's talking. And they all knew it. And they all followed suit, right? I don't know what Milroe and Booker and D-Law and Malcolm, I don't know what they're saying. Is it taking root? Is it taking some type of effect? That's the question I'm asking right now. Kenny Heathcock writes in, it will be hard to keep all of these recruits if we don't get better. That's the thing too. That's the thing. Like, if this thing doesn't clean up, then recruits are going to start asking themselves, is Bama really Bama? And they're going to look at, well, let's look at some other programs out here. Let's look at some other schools out here to see if they're showing the consistency that I need to see as a recruit. So absolutely, that's a thought right there. Don Parker writes in, it's Tennessee hate week, y'all. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not so enthusiastic, and I normally go in on Tennessee. I hate Tennessee. They low down, they dirty, and they steal some snitches. So Don Parker says, hey, Tennessee, it's Tennessee week. It's Tennessee week. But can Alabama make the necessary adjustments for real in practice this week to go up to Neyland and handle Tennessee? Because this, like I said, this is not going to be a gimme. Nico Iamaleava, this is not going to be a gimme. Tennessee's got edge rushers too, led by James Pierce Jr. This is not going to be a gimme. This is going to be a tough football. That's going to be a sellout crowd in Neyland. Because those Vol fans, they feel like, hey, we took them 2 years ago, and that was with Coach Saban. We took them 2 years ago. Now Saban's not there anymore as the head man, and they're coming back up here. We could take them again. That's the mindset of the Tennessee fan base right now. Here we go. Ken O writes in, he got hired in January, had to put a staff together. Yes, DeBoer got hired in January. Yes, DeBoer had to put a staff together. And that staff is starting now to really, truly understand we in the SEC. We are no longer in the Pac-12. It's a gut check every single week. You're in a gauntlet. You're in a fight. And you got to be able to prepare, plan, strategize, adjust, readjust, readjust. Do it all. Do it all. Eddie Rhodes, my guy, with that $10 donation, dropping it in there. Eddie Rhodes' defense needs to get better. I haven't seen anything swarm about this defense. I mean, we saw a little bit of it, Eddie, the first, 2 games. We saw a little bit of a swarm against Wisconsin. We saw a little bit of a swarm the first quarter against Georgia. but nothing much since then. Nothing at all since then. Nothing at all since then. Kane Womack get this up. Improvements. Situational football has to be better. Has to be better. Let's see here. Roll Tide and rise up. I have to be honest, fam. I'm very worried about Tennessee Saturday. I know they are not playing their best, but everyone gives their best to Alabama, and our defense can't seem to stop Jack. I mean, that's why I say Roll Tide and rise up. The fan base is worried. Fan base is highly concerned about this Tennessee game because the defense has been struggling offensively. Bama has no balance. And you look at Tennessee, they've watched the Vandy tape. They've watched the South Carolina tape. They've watched the Georgia tape. And what's going through Josh Heupel's mind, all we got to do is play a little bit of keep away, win time of possession, hit some explosives, control the ball on third down, and we're going to beat Alabama again at Neyland Stadium. That's what's going through Josh Heupel's mind. If I was Josh Heupel, that would be going through my mind after watching the Georgia tape, after watching the Vandy tape, and after watching the South Carolina tape. Is all I got to do against Alabama to win this game is control the pace of the game, control the flow of the game, control the tempo, win time of possession, win third down, affect Jalen Milroe, force him to throw a couple picks, and to have Nico Iamaleava go out there and carve up the defense. That's all I have to do. So there's a lot of Bama fans very much so concerned about this Tennessee football game. Travis T writes in, Tennessee at home, these balls are going to be clicking. Tennessee is at home. They are at home. Bama's got to come with it. Bama's got to come with it this week, all week in practice. And that come with it better have started today. That come with it better have started today. GT18 writes in, agree on the run game. Trust in it and get it going, and that will open up bigger plays. Just need to be more consistent with it. That's all. And that's the message for Coach Sheridan. You got to have discipline with it. You got to have consistency in the run game. You have to stick with it because that allows all of your other plays to open up. That allows plays to Ryan Williams to open. That allows plays to Jeremy Bernard to open. That allows plays for the tight ends to open. That allows plays for guys like Cole Adams, who had 2 catches for 57 yards against South Carolina. It allows plays for him to open. But it all starts with you got to be disciplined in the run. You can't just go away from it when you feel like, okay, it's not working. We're only getting 2 yards. We're only getting 3 yards. That's not good enough. No, you stick with it. You stick with it. Here we go. Appreciate all of you guys helping us out right here. Plow Jogger writes in, remember a few years ago when Tennessee got caught using Hostess to recruit prospects? They nasty. Hostesses to recruit prospects. Hey, that's Tennessee, baby. That is Tennessee. That is Tennessee. But we got to be ready for them, Plow. No matter what they're using. We got to be ready for them, Plow. From writes in, Skyline Crew, what's up? Hey, you know what it is, From? Got the Skyline right here. Got the Skyline right here. Jeremy Matthews, I got a feeling DeBoer is going to lose the team. Man, I'll say this. That is, my hope is that he doesn't lose the team. That's my hope. But I will say, if this continues, I can really start to see some disappointment, some hurt, some resentment, some stuff sitting into that locker room. DeBoer has got to fix this, and he's got to fix it fast. Troy Craddock writes in, coaches need to fire some butts up, need headhunters and some nasty dogs on defense. I remember when other teams were afraid to play against Alabama's defense. Well, Troy, that goes back to my guy Mike McCoy. What did he say? Every team needs three gangsters and 2 church boys. Mike McCoy said it. You need 3 gangsters and 2 church boys. The 2 church boys to talk in front of the media, the 3 gangsters to hold everybody accountable. That's what every team needs. And right now, I don't know where the gangsters at for this Alabama team. I don't know. I see the church boys. I see them. But I don't know where the gangsters at on this Alabama team. I could not point one out to you right now. Well, I could point one out to you, but he may be on the bench. And he don't need to be on the bench. That boy need to be on the field. But that's the thing. Coaches need to fire some people up. Need some headhunters out there. But also, it's having three gangsters and 2 church boys. But you got to have them 3 gangsters. You got to have them 3 gangsters. Let's see. Travis T writes here, I'm not buying that Tennessee performance against Florida. So he is not buying that. Patricia Purdue with the roll tide. Patricia, Morty M, appreciate you liking the show, Morty. Absolutely. Let's see here. Travis T, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. We ain't beating Tennessee at home. Not with these boys. Travis T, getting his thoughts in here. Chief 18 Wheels, this is the new Bama. Our new head coach is used to struggle wins. Hey, King and DeBoer talked about it. We become used to this, these heart attack games, these games down to the wire, these struggle wins. DeBoer mentioned that. And and I'm just saying, if this is his way to win, then Alabama, just have your blood pressure medicine in your purse. Just have your blood pressure medicine in your pocket. I'm just saying, if this is Kalen DeBoer's way to win, if this is his only way to win, right, then just prepare to have your blood pressure pills on deck. I'm just saying, because if this is his way to win, every game is going to be a dogfight. Every game is going to be a miracle needing to happen at the end. Every game is going to come down to the last play of the 4th quarter. And I know you as Alabama fans do not like having your blood pressure up there like that. But if this is how Kalen DeBoer knows how to win right now, then just prepare, Bama fans, for every game you walk into Bryant-Denny, or if you travel on the road, keep in your clear bag, just scan these blood pressure pills right here. I need them. I just need them. I just need them right now. I just need them right now. That's what you're going to have to do. Jeff Roy, giving us a roll tide to you, Jeff. Happy to have you in here checking out the show on this evening. All of you guys writing in, donating in. We got my guy, Kenny Heathcock, with that $5 donation. Any news on Jeremy? No news here on Jeremy Pruitt. He is still he's still at Plainview High School. I don't think he is leaving Plainview High School at this point, but that's where he is right now. Mr. B_205 in here. People are calling Bama fans fair weather fans because of how we criticized DeBoer and Womack while Saban was 7-5 his first year. There's a standard. They aren't living up to the standard. Let me say this, Mr. B_205. People that compare Saban's first year to what DeBoer is doing right now is a horrible comparison. That's like comparing apples to oranges. Saban had to build a program from the ground, right? When Saban first got to Alabama, nobody wanted to be here. Bama wasn't the sexiest program. Nobody wanted to come to Bama. It was like the phrase roll tide meant something, but how much did it really mean at that time? You hadn't won a championship since 1992 nationally. You hadn't won a conference championship since 1999, right? Been a long time. You were going through textbook scandals, sanctions, probation, loss of scholarships. Nobody wanted to touch Alabama with a 10-foot pole at that time. Mal Moore has to go out there and get Nick Saban, right? So Nick Saban has to come in here and build something from the ground up. DeBoer doesn't have to build from the ground up. DeBoer inherits a program with everything. There's a difference. DeBoer inherited a house that was furnished by IKEA. The couches were already there. The TV was already in the house. The carpet was already there. The fridge is already there. The washer and the dryer is already there. Everything's already there. All you got to do is upkeep the house. That's what DeBoer inherited. Everything was already there. The championship pedigree was already there. Saban won 6 titles. The resources are already there. The recruiting prowess is already there. Everybody wants to come to Bama. Or for the most part, come to Bama. So DeBoer doesn't have to build anything. It's already there. The standard had already been set. So for people that say, well, DeBoer struggled, but Saban struggled back then, that's not a comparison. It's not. It's not. Saban had to build from ground zero. DeBoer comes in here off the jet already in a Bugatti, which is the Alabama program. You have to be held to that standard. If you coming off the plane into a Bugatti, you got to be able to drive the Bugatti and not crash the car. You got to live up to that level of excellence that has been set prior to you coming in here. Absolutely. Dale B writes in, someone needs to put a collared shirt on DeBoer's chair with that $10 donation. Appreciate that from Dale B. Appreciate that, man, from Dale B, helping us out here on the show. Here we go. 6-0 writes in, this Alabama team is a mirage, Steven. From a distance, it looks tough, but the closer you get to it, it appears to be nothing. Man, 6-0. You make a point there. I mean, this team lacks a lot of things. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. The main thing is being able to just play situational football correctly. But this team lacks a lot of things that need to be fixed. And it's just the truth. It needs to be fixed. Let's see here. Smash the like button. Absolutely. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Okay, so we had a great D lineman last year. Let me say this. Will Anderson was an outside linebacker. He was not classified as a traditional D lineman. Yes, he came down and put one hand in the dirt, yes. But he does not classify as a traditional, D lineman. He classified more as an outside linebacker. Traditional D lineman, I'm talking guys like Quinnen Williams, I'm talking guys like Daron Payne. I'm talking guys like Marcel Darius, Terrence Cody, A'Shawn Robinson, Jaron Reed, Darren Lake, Christian Barmore. Those are guys I'm talking about. Traditional defensive linemen. Alabama has not had a traditional defensive lineman taken in the first round of the NFL draft since Quinnen Williams, who went number 3 overall in the 2019 draft to the New York Jets. That's what I'm saying. Hasn't had a traditional defensive lineman taken in the first round in a while. But I appreciate all of you guys writing in. You guys are lighting us up. Here we go. Travis T writes in, DeBoer isn't going to dress how fans want him to. That sounds so silly. He can look at you and laugh. I mean, to me, I know some people look at DeBoer's dress code. I don't care about that. What I care about is effective football. I don't care if you watch. I don't care if DeBoer goes out there with a wave cap, a white beater, a pair of shorts, and a black and mild sticking out of his mouth. I don't care what DeBoer comes out in. As long as Alabama's playing situationally sound football, that's what I care about. The boy can come out on the field in a onesie. I don't care. As long as situationally sound football is being played, that's all I care about. That's all I care about. Appreciate all of you guys helping us out. Deborah Ferguson writes in, Deborah Ferguson, Steven, is this the worst defense you ever seen? That's a good question. Is this the worst defense? It's starting to look right there with Pete Golding. It's starting to look right there with Pete Golding because you're starting to see the same things that we got on Pete Golding about with Kane and Womack. You're starting to see it. You're starting to see some of the similar things that we got on Pete Golding about happening here with Kane and Womack. Let's see. Chef 18 Wheels, they aren't saying anything. You can see them sitting calm on the sideline during the game. So that goes back to my thought there about the team captains. What are they saying? So Chief 18 Wheels is saying they ain't saying nothing. You can see them on the sideline sitting calm. That goes back for Tim Smith. Gotta be a player-led team. As a player-led team, your team captains have got to talk. Your team captains have got to open up their mouths and talk. These guys got to talk more. Appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts in, writing in. Man, absolutely. I mean, you guys are liking this. Uncle Charles is in here. Stephen M. Salute, roll tide. Uncle Charles, bro, I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. I haven't heard from you in a minute. Uncle Charles, what's going on? Uncle Charles done popped in here. Let's go. Bama Gump writes in, Bama will be fine. Relax. Bama Gump, I hope you're right, man. I really hope you're right, man, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking at this team. I'm seeing some glaring issues, and not just one. I'm seeing quite a few of them. So Bama Gump, I'm hoping that you're right about that. Relax, Bama will be fine. Bama Gump, I'm hoping that you're all right about that. Your Uncle Charles in the house, baby. Stephen M. Smith, do you think we need another defensive coordinator? Look, I'm looking at this game against Tennessee. If Womack don't fix stuff this week, that's where my mind's going. Another D coordinator. If Womack don't fix some stuff this week, at least fix the third down defense. At the bare minimum, fix the third down defense. If he don't at least just do that, then yeah, look at another defensive coordinator. But you gotta fix some stuff. You gotta fix some stuff. Absolutely. Uncle Charles, Roll Tide team, my man Jarvis S. Huge week for us. Yes, huge week for Bama. Jarvis S. We also need Georgia to beat Texas. You need the dogs to beat Texas because right now Texas is on fire. You need Georgia to win that football game. You need Georgia to win. Dylan Wiggum writes in, Tennessee will have to beat us running the ball. Nico cannot beat us throwing. Well, if that's the case, Dylan, from this defensive line, better bring that lunch pail, stop this running game for Tennessee. If that's the case, Bama defense gotta really bring that lunch pail to stop Tennessee. Appreciate every last one of you guys writing in tonight, leaving your thoughts, leaving your comments here. And I'm gonna say this before I begin to wrap this up. I'm not one, but I'll take this question about Kobe Prentice. Kobe didn't play this past week due to he was still getting over that hit to the head he took against Vanderbilt that was not called for targeting. But Prentice should be back this week against Tennessee. He should be. He should be back against Tennessee. Hopefully, he has gotten through the entire concussion protocol. But here's my thing, y'all. Here's my thing. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom or anything. That's not what I'm trying to be here. What I'm trying to convey is there's a standard of excellence. No matter who the coach is, there's a standard of excellence at Alabama that started with Wallace Wade and Frank Thomas. It went to Paul Bear Bryant. Gene Stallings had it. Of course, Nick Saban had it as well. And when you coach at Alabama, you got to coach to that standard of excellence, right? And if you're not doing so, or if there seems to be problems, then that needs to be discussed. That needs to be talked about. It can't just be swept under the rug like there's no problem, there's no issue. No, if there's a problem, if there is an issue, then that needs to be discussed. And that's why we have this show, to talk about it, to discuss it. How can this team be better? How can this team improve? How can this team go on to look like a national championship team that we know it has the potential and that it has the capability to be? And I think the number one thing it's got to do moving forward, it's got to be better at situational football. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage here, entertainment on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're Rocket Team, Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio, Google Play. We got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, we'll be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. Remember, Tide fans, you subscribe to touchdownalabama.com. You get you that subscription today to touchdownalabama.com. Have all of your Bama football in the palm of your hands right there. Want to appreciate all of you for chatting with us in the YouTube chat line, for the donations tonight, for making this your show, your spot, your network for all things Bama football. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. As always, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue to do the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. Get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, the 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Like I said, until next time, folks, you've been listening in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith.